So welcome to our webinar today with Dirk Ploss, which will start in a few minutes. First of all, a warm welcome to everybody out there, and just a little bit about why we do now a webinar. Originally, we planned a live event close to Frankfurt in a very nice location called the Aircraft for our third leadership event. And unfortunately, as we all know, then this pandemic happened and did force us to basically cancel the event, because still in Hessen, which is the country in which we would have met, all the events with more than 100 people need a special allowance, and also we would have to follow certain hygiene stuff, and this is very problematic in the location that we have to keep that distance. And so we finally decided to create more or less a series of webinars, and this series of webinars starts today with Dirk Ploss in a few minutes, and then after that we have immediately at 5 o'clock a webinar with our friends and colleagues from Quantilope. They basically will share their insights about how you can deduct some marketing research and get some insights from marketing research with the new technology. And then we will basically also have tomorrow a very nice webinar on 4:30 with Mirko Holzer, the founder of Brandmaker, a very interesting marketing resource management tool. So stay tuned for that one. And then on Wednesday, we will have a very nice webinar with my former colleague, Mark Tislik, who is basically the founder of Content Pepper, which is a very nice digital experience management system. And if you don't know about digital experience management, you should join here to learn more about this new category of products. And then on Thursday, we have the honor to present ourselves together with a very good speaker from Deutsche Bank, Renata Dadic, and she will also share some insights about the future of marketing processes and how you should empower teams to get that marketing also in the future with all this technology, with this social media and all the influence that is basically impacting us faster and faster. So, and then finally on Friday, we have a very, very nice keynote again. After the keynote today from Dirk Ploss, we'll have a keynote from Scott Brinker. If it doesn't ring a bell, you may know the MarTech landscape. You may have seen this landscape with more than 5,000 companies or products active in the marketing technology field. And he's also working as chief, he's working as a CMO for HubSpot. And yeah, so it's also a very interesting talk you shouldn't miss. Even though it's Friday, then we start a little bit earlier, not with all the others at 4:30. We start then on 4 o'clock. And that's also because we want to give the chance for all the people from the East Coast. And yes, we have some people that at least registered for our event also from the US. And also we hope that they will join. And we actually are now with 16 participants. Numbers are still growing, but I think as we record this, I would say warm welcome to Dirk Ploss. Dirk Ploss has worked for Otto for more than 4 years as a brand manager and marketing communication. And in the last 4 years, he is basically working for Beiersdorf, and there he is working, was first working as a global e-commerce manager. And yeah, he seems to be very, let's say, knowledgeable about this field, because you can also read a very interesting, and I personally liked it really much, and a post some weeks ago about his shopping experience, online shopping experience, which ended in an offline shopping experience with IKEA. And yeah, maybe he can also tell us in a second a little bit more about that. And now he is basically a digital technology scout. And Dirk, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this function and what digital technology scout is basically doing. Welcome, Dirk.
Hello, thank you very much for the introduction, and hello everybody from Hamburg, from my lovely home office here. Still sitting there and not in the Beiersdorf headquarters, which are also located in Hamburg. And yeah, let's see if we can get this running here. So yeah, hold on a second. Can you see my screen right now or not? Other than that,
in a second. Now it's live. Yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, so my topic today will be marketing to machines. Yeah, and as one of some of you might know, this is based upon all the experiences I have collected over the past 2.5 years, where I have been in the role of head of digital technology, scouting and advisory for Beiersdorf in our global digital department. And I've been online since 1985, actually. Yeah? And when you remember back in the days when we had to go online, we called it back in the days DFÜ, Datenfernübertragung. And what you can see here on the left of the screen is what we called a Datenklo. Yeah, and this was basically a highly illegal modem which had the capacity of running at 300 bits per second bandwidth. And when you look at today's technology, 2020, fast forward to 5G phones who are running at a capacity of 10 billion bits per second. So this is what it means to be inside an exponential development for your tech life. What I'm doing right now at Beiersdorf is 3 different responsibilities. First of all, I'm kind of the truffle pick for startups. So what we do is some startup and technology scouting, either to work with these startups or to invest in them. So Beiersdorf has now Oscar and Paul Beiersdorf Ventures, which is a small venture capital fund, corporate venture capital fund of 50 million euros, where we mainly invest in early stage tech and beauty tech companies. Secondly, I'm responsible for prototyping of new consumer technologies. So we have built the first skill for the Amazon Echo for Nivea, and we are doing a lot of things with connected packaging, augmented reality, and all of these fancy technologies to find out whether we should really go after these technologies or let them ripe a little more until they get market ready. And finally, I'm responsible for the development and evaluation of new digital business models. So far, we have 2 in the place. One is an app that digitizes the communication between parents and kindergartens, and one is a digital midwife, technically a chatbot, which answers all questions around pregnancy, childbirth, and childbed. We do this together with the German Midwife Association. So what I do professionally is to deal with the future. And if you want to understand the future, and if you want to have an idea what the future will look like, the best thing is that you take a look onto things of the past, especially old episodes of Star Trek. Because basically everything that has ever been invented has been shown in Star Trek before. And one of those things is the dermal regenerator. I don't know if anybody of you remembers that. It's a little device that emits some sort of plasma beam and is able to heal flesh wounds instantly, as you can see in this picture. Guess what? This technology is here today. It's existing. It's from a startup in Greifswald in Germany called PlasmaTech. Right now, it's a clinical device located at doctors' offices and in clinics. And it ionizes the surrounding air and emits on a 10 by 10 centimeter plasma patch called plasma, which does 2 things. First of all, it kills even multi-resistant bacteria in 180 seconds by 100%. Secondly, it is able to heal chronic wounds, so which is basically great news, for example, for diabetes patients. And when you can think about that, so to manipulate the skin, damaged skin on that level, you can imagine that 10 years from now, this will not be a big cube sitting in a doctor's office, but it will be a handheld device that you have at home in your medicine cupboard. So what we are facing right now is an exponential world. And you can see that by the sheer look at how computer power has developed over the past decades. So starting back in the late 1960s, we had a constant doubling of transistor counts or processing power roughly every 1.5 years. And this is called Moore's Law. Of course, one might think, okay, this will have to come to an end because you cannot double the transistor count on an integrated circuit every more once you reach a molecular or atom level. But with quantum computing being in the start and actually working today, you can see that the exponential curve, which looks pretty steep until 2019, is just the beginning of what will happen over the next 10, 20, 30 years. So technology is gaining on speed, or put it that way, it will never develop as slow as this does today. So Beiersdorf has been known for being a very innovative company. Our whole DNA is based on innovation, starting 1909 with the brand Labello. You all know the lipstick, which has become almost a common category name. 2 years later, we invented Nivea, which is still the leading skincare brand in the world with more than 500 million consumers worldwide. And in 1922, we came up with Hansaplast, the Leukoplast Schnellverband for little wounds. Fast forward to 2020, we are facing technologies like high-intense focused ultrasound, cold plasma, 3D printing of artificial skin. This is everything that may either accelerate our business or hurt our business. So, and we are not too big to fail. So we have seen that in the past, for example, with Nokia, who came from having 1 billion customers worldwide to getting Instinct a couple of years later. Or take Kodak. Don't get Kodak is a common phrase in the Silicon Valley. 1978, Steven Sasson invented the portable digital camera. 23, digital photography took over analog photography, and in 2012, Kodak finally filed for bankruptcy. So, and finally, another example, Blockbuster. Don't trust your own market research. Blockbuster did a market study when Netflix was already on the market, but it was still a mail or DVD company then. And they found out that their customers love the social interaction at the point of sale. And they like getting a DVD cover in their hands. But to put it with someone who is often very blunt with his sayings, Gary Vaynerchuk, fuck it, I want to lay naked on my damn band and instantly choose a movie from Netflix with my remote control. And this is what kicked Blockbuster out of the business. So focusing on your core business is, for most businesses, eventually the final destination. We call this death by ignorance, because all these disruptive companies who are now delivering less quality and only serving a niche market, they have small reach and everything, they're not taken serious. But over time, they develop out of the niche into the mainstream. And finally, they have the way better products who will outrun the incumbents' products. And those will finally die. So now let's talk about AI. AI is nothing new. It was basically an invention from the late 50s in the last century, like here ELIZA, which was mimicking a psychological analyst in 1966. Today, we are using this on a daily basis. Whenever you go from A to B and you use Google Maps, for example, you are using and leveraging artificial intelligence. Sometimes, or often, we use it without even realizing it. So looking at the sports section in any given online magazine, when it comes to non-professional football or soccer, for example, you will see articles like this. 7 Partien ohne Niederlage, TV Jan setzt Erfolgsserie fort. Now look at that little disclaimer down there where it says, attention, this copy was not written by a human. It was written automatically. So we already have AI, which is analyzing a football game and putting that into an article that can be published without any human interaction anymore. So, taking this thought, we see that a lot of jobs and tasks will be taken over by intelligent machines in the future. Now, some things are pretty easy, like folding laundry. We have it already. Assembling Lego, which is close to be done. Read text aloud, write a high school essay, or drive a truck. Some things will take a little bit longer, like becoming a retail salesperson or writing a New York Times bestseller. But finally, when we reach the so-called singularity, some between 2050, 2060, all human tasks can be done by computers. And what's more, they are starting to read our minds. This is a device from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which can actually discover what you're thinking about, because you got this micro movements of your jaw when you're thinking, and they can translate this into real text. Another one which works with sensors is able, when a person looks at a certain letter, to decipher what the person is thinking about. And I think that this is pretty accurate already. Think this 5 or 10 years ahead from now, and you know where we're heading. And of course, creativity is no longer a field that artificial intelligence cannot enter. The picture on the left, the painting, has been done by an AI. The symphony on the right as well. And I've heard such a symphony which sounded pretty well. It was a couple of years ago at an event from NVIDIA. So what if the AI finally will take our decisions as well? Will we end up in a WALL-E-like environment, so where nobody is doing anything anymore? We're just getting shipped around, we're getting fed, and we're just getting entertained? What will happen? And I thought about that thought a bit longer, and then I came to the evolution of AI. So first we had descriptive AI, which was basically answering the question, what has happened? It used huge data amounts and told us why did this happen and what happened there. It put things into context. The next generation of AI was the predictive AI, which could say, okay, if you have clicked on this and that, and you are from there and there, then you most probably will buy this and that. This is what a lot of algorithms at Amazon run on, for example. But finally, we're approaching a new level, which is called prescriptive AI, which will then really determine and say that will happen as a statement, not as a possibility. So now apply this to the purchase funnel. This is the purchase funnel, the human purchase funnel that we're all aware of. It starts with awareness, then comes consideration, the purchase, repeat purchases, aka loyalty, and finally recommending your favorite products to your friends and family, advocacy. But applying prescriptive AI to the purchase funnel leads to a whole new situation where the consumer almost gets erased from the purchase funnel. It starts by an algorithm or an AI calculating a certain demand on your end. So your home in 5 to 10 years, or your bathroom in 5 to 10 years, will know when you run out of shower gel. So it will simply detect a demand. And then without you interacting anyhow, it will deliver new products right to your doorstep before you order them. Then finally, you can consider if you want to keep them or not, but most probably the algorithms will be so good and so precise that you say, oh, well, yeah, this is exactly what I needed. And you will not even think about it anymore. You will just keep the things that you were delivered. Then you will confirm by keeping the products that this was the right choice, or you will give feedback. No, I didn't want this product. No, I couldn't use this product. Oh, no, I found an old bottle back from 1998 of shower gel in the back of my cupboard, so I'm not needing any new right now. So this is the new situation that we are all facing. We call this marketing to machines, because it's not a human that you have to sell anymore. It's an algorithm. It's a machine, and it has a set of very competitive new rules that we have to look at. First of all, we are looking at new target groups. And when you look at any given smart speaker, especially the Amazon Echo, you know when you ask the Amazon Echo for a simple product recommendation, buy batteries or something like that, then it will come up with 2 recommendations, and after that, no more. So the old saying about being Google, the perfect place to hide a dead body on page number 2, is no longer valid, because on an Amazon Echo, there is not even a place 3. It's just 1 or 2 and nothing more. And this will come to a situation where we will have only 1 slot. So you will have just 1 selection. And no, this is not next generation search engine optimization, because SEO, of course, is addressing algorithms and is trying to manipulate or circumvent algorithms. But the goal of SEO still is to get human attention, so that humans can see your ads, can see your web pages, can see your products, and finally buy them. Marketing to machines mean that you really are selling and marketing to a machine, and that the machine itself does the purchase. And this is what's really revolutionary about shopping and e-commerce of the future. So what we have to do is to understand the algorithm. How does a purchase decision get combined or calculated? First of all, it's a matter of fact, it will go after the performance of the product, click-through rates, conversion rates, and anything like that. Secondly, it will be a matter of pricing, because the algorithm or the personal assistant will know in what price category you usually buy. Are you a luxury buyer or a bargain hunter or whatever? Thirdly, it will be for content, because the machine has to know all the little details about your products. So the more content you will have for your products, the better it will be placed inside the computer's algorithm. And finally, of course, it will be highly dependent on feedback, ratings and reviews and stuff like that. And this will finally determine if you have a sell slot or not. So, but don't forget about the consumer totally, because the feedback, of course, is highly based on interactions and actions by the consumer. So first of all, we have all these ratings and reviews, which are already very important today, but they will become even more important in the future, because the machine will take that into account. What do people who are like you liked about that product and disliked about that product, and how does that compare to your own preferences? Secondly, the social buzz about products. As already mentioned, currently I gave a little social buzz about IKEA. On LinkedIn, the article was seen or read by almost 12,000 people so far, where it was just stating about the bad interaction and experience that I had with their online shopping experiences. And thirdly, and finally, of course, consumers will be responsible for the decline rates. So getting products delivered and sending them back. This will have heavy influence on the next, not recommendations, but selections done by machines. So this is finally the wrap up of how to market to machines in the future. And thanks for your attention. I would be happy to take some questions from you or discuss the topic even contrary in the controversy with you right now. Thank you very much for your attention.
Unmute helps a lot. So thank you, Dirk. Thank you for this very, very interesting talk. And to everybody out there, we have a question and answer functionality, which you can type in. And we also we get the first question in here. I will just read it out loud, Dirk, that we get basically everybody can follow on it, and I'll also publish it here. So we have, could you imagine that Beiersdorf has an Amazon Echo in the lab, or do you rather expect that the demand detection device is already built into your lab devices? Who would be the driver to build the standards for the business?
Wow. Great question, which is really difficult to answer. So who will be the driver? Most probably, I believe that Amazon itself will be the major driver of that, or if not Amazon, some of its competitors from China, Alibaba, Tencent, or somebody like that. Yeah. So um, this is basically due to the fact that they want to optimize their revenues and minimize the return rates. So they are already today heavily relying on AI. When it comes to the lab, of course, we believe that in the next 10 to 15 years, personal assistants will be everywhere, be it in the lab, be it in the consumer's home, be it in your bathroom, be it in your car, which drives automatically or whatever. So your personal assistant will be with you. When you look at the new generation of Google Lenses, you can see a little where the technology is going right now. So it will be built in, definitely, in almost every appliance and every piece of technology that we use. Maybe besides some tools like a hammer.
Okay. Now, or also in cars, wherever we find interfaces, or what is your prediction on that? I mean, that we will see more and more interfaces and not only Amazon Echoes and Googles, or
Yeah, definitely.
will
But
it concentrate?
yeah, it will, because frankly, the consumer has no interest in handling 10, 20 different tools or devices. Yeah, it's like with a smart home environment, I now have to install 3 hubs at my home, and it really sucks. Yeah, what I want is one central system that I can steer automatically. So it will go for some sort of standard, either an open standard or a proprietary standard, which may or will most probably be handled by either Amazon or Google, that I'm pretty sure of. Yeah, so it will be the winner takes almost all. Yeah.
Okay, we have a new question. If it's true in terms of innovation that sooner or later any company needs to cannibalize their own business to reinvent themselves, how to find out the right point in time to start this cannibalization, and how does Beiersdorf do that?
Okay, starting with the last question. In my opinion, not fast enough. Yeah, so but
not fast enough.
This is always the view of the innovation manager, because
not
I'm running around
CIO,
and I see,
yeah, of course.
yeah, and I'm running around and seeing all these startups and all these technologies developing. So when is the right time to start? It's always, yeah, but be assured that 95% of the times you will fail with your own cannibalization and your own disruption. It will not work out, yeah, because somewhere along the funnel and the value chain, there will be some sort of friction where people will not like it anymore. So, but nevertheless, yes, you have to cannibalize yourself. As the common phrase from Silicon Valley says, Uber yourself before you get Kodak. Yeah, and the time is now.
Okay, and we have another question. Have you already made your experience with an automated purchase mechanism, which is comparable to the Amazon Dash button for an easy reorder?
Yeah, we did. We tried out Amazon
reorder. Yeah.
Yeah. We tried out Amazon Dash, which was not working very well. Yeah, because it was too narrow. Yeah, you had only one product, and if you want to order anything else of our assortment, you have to get another button, which is not convenient. Yeah, because you end up having 120 buttons at your bathroom. Nobody wants that. Yeah. So, but yes, I mean, look at subscription models. Yeah, they are on the rise as well, and subscription model is some sort of automatic ordering. Yeah, and I believe that we will have more intelligent algorithms determining when you get your next order in a subscription cycle, not being based on the calendar, but really being based on your supply and demand.
Yeah, very good. We have one more question here. What is your expectation how the marketing algorithm might cope with extraordinary situations? Example, Corona. The device might misinterpret the reduced demand or the changed demand, prepare and consequently modify the offered portfolio. So what is your idea to validate algorithms?
Yeah, there will always be, in my opinion, a certain moment of surprise. Yeah, but nevertheless, we are experimenting right now with a AI startup called Pythia. And what they do is trend prediction for the next 18 months with a current accuracy above 85%. Yeah, and they are doing that based on every single search interaction with Google for the past 10 years. Yeah, so they can really determine using their AI algorithms what is just a little peak, a small peak where something goes up, hypes, and then goes down again, and what is a stable trend that is going to stand and get really big and stable and growing. Yeah, and this is how we try to validate that. Yeah, to see, okay, what are the patterns beneath the trend developments that we can put to another at work, and where we see cross references, and so this is how we try to validate them. Yeah.
Okay, one last question, because as just announced at the beginning, and I'm happy that we get so many questions here, we have to switch at 5 o'clock sharp to our next webinar from Quantilope. If AI is choosing for me what to buy, then we will not need any advertising anymore. Question mark, explanation mark. But I think we humans need a selection process in some way to feel in control. And may I add also, how do you will introduce new products in that case?
Yeah, so the introduction of new products follows the same principles as ordering existing products. Yeah, the algorithm, the personal assistant will simply know this will be something that is of your interest. Yeah, so it will deliver you something new, something to try out every now and then. Will we need advertising? Yes, I do believe we will still have advertising. Yeah, because the automatic ordering, yeah, by machines will not cover every single product in the world. Yeah, it will most probably cover all the commodities, all the, I don't know, low involvement products, yeah, but not, for example, a car or something that is of high interest. Yeah, so we will see more advertising, but way less advertising for commodities, FMCG or CPG products, and all these things of daily usage.
Yeah, very interesting.
And of course, that's Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk, yes, of course, Captain Kirk. Who else? Who else?
I'm a Gen Xer. I have to say that.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So, Dirk, it was my pleasure to have you here in this very, very nice presentation from your side. And just to the audience, please switch with me over to the next webinar from Quantilope. You will find the link on LinkedIn in order to join there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye.